Hello, I'm Ward Brown. If you think of every $100 the U.S. economy produces, nearly 18 of that flows to healthcare. About $5 trillion or so, or 15,000 from every American. Yet all the stocks linked to healthcare spending have acted really poorly over the last few years. The S&P 500 healthcare sector has trailed the broad index by more than 50%, its worst gap in decades. So how could both of those things be true? And how might artificial intelligence disrupt the whole thing? Let's take a look.
Healthcare's economic dominance is pretty easy to understand. First, America's just aging. By 2030, about 1 in 5 US adults is going to be 65 or older, and those seniors consume about 3 times as much healthcare services as younger people do. We've also just had the big proliferation of chronic conditions like heart disease or diabetes. Right now, about 6 in 10 US adults have at least one of those, and 4 in 10 have 2 or more. That alone accounts for about 90% of the total US healthcare spend. But we've also had the big surge in technological progress. We have things like advanced imaging or biologic drugs, and these things have been great for outcomes, but they're also more expensive and do help explain why healthcare has become such a bigger part of the economy. One of the more surprising drivers is all the increase in administration. The number of healthcare administrators has just exploded, especially in contrast to the number of physicians we've added into the system. We all know that today healthcare is very costly to treat, but it's also pretty expensive to operate and to run. And that same complexity is exactly why healthcare is considered so ready for the disruption brought on by AI. Healthcare produces huge amounts of data. We have lab results and imaging scans and patient records, and at the same time, we're still facing labor shortages, which is pretty hard to believe when you look at this chart. Nearly every state in the United States employs more healthcare workers than anything else. And we all know that something just isn't working right under that circumstance. AI is ideally suited for these kinds of challenges. Already the FDA has approved over 1,000 AI-enabled medical devices, and even Medicare is starting to reimburse for certain AI tools, things like stroke detection algorithms, and there's also a new service offered by Microsoft Copilot that's helping reduce physician documentation time by more than 60%. That gives them more time to spend on patient care, something we'd all appreciate. The big consultant McKinsey estimates that AI could cut U.S. healthcare spending by anywhere from $200 to $350 billion each year, mainly by removing inefficiencies and just automating a lot of that administrative work. So why have healthcare stocks faltered so badly while things like AI advance like they have? Well, regulatory uncertainty is a key factor. Medicare Advantage, the big profitable private Medicare program, is being put under the microscope a little more here recently. You got companies like United Healthcare Group that's undergoing audits and rate cuts and even DOJ investigations. We felt that pretty hard in the Argent portfolios. Meanwhile, the post-COVID recovery in elective surgeries keeps putting medical costs higher. All the weekend warriors out there are getting new hips and shoulders and knees, and that's squeezing margins on top of it for health insurers. Hospitals and providers are facing wage inflation, labor shortages, and also an increase in use. And finally, just investor capital has shifted to things with just more excitement right now. Again, things like tech and the AI stocks, and more defensive sectors like healthcare has fallen out of favor, at least for now. The key takeaway for a long-term investor is this: while healthcare stocks have recently underperformed, the sector is experiencing a giant technological shift and ripe for more of it. AI is starting to deliver the kind of productivity gains that healthcare desperately needs. As those gains become more apparent, the market may start to reward companies that adopt that innovation. Healthcare's economic significance remains strong. It's not going anywhere. But the tools to manage it are changing rapidly. And that could change a bunch and could be where the next investment opportunities start to arise. Thanks very much for watching.